on this computer. And so we are now live and recording, and now we need to I can't find, the funny thing is I cannot find the link to start the webinar. Can you see the link to start the webinar?
It was on the top just before,
yeah,
wasn't it?
But I don't see it any longer, isn't it? That's also strange. I need to, okay. Or has it already started? I don't know.
I know it's.
Because we are already at 3 o'clock, so maybe it has already started. I'm not so sure actually, but because it's that option is not coming here, so I would imagine it has started up.
At least we're recording.
Yes, exactly. So maybe we can begin, just one, I can just double check last thing before, just make sure. Yeah, and yeah, it seems like, yeah. Yes. Yeah, okay, we can begin. Hi everyone, I'm your host Johnson from the International Office at Internships University. Before we begin, some practical information. This session will be recorded, and later we would put a copy of this feed onto our JU web in next few days. Kindly ask your questions at the Q&A function on Zoom. We will answer all of the questions at the end of this webinar. Today, we will discuss and gain inside information on our MASTech program in Assistive Technologies that has two distinct tracks for students coming in from prosthetics and orthotics background and students coming in from the engineering background, such as mechanical. These programs are designed to cater to the rising demand of this industry, especially considering we have aging population in many parts of the world, or people affected by disabilities, and so on and so forth. Let's not wait any further and welcome our guest, Assistant Professor Dr. Lewis, and our current student, Anas Musa. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So what we will firstly interact with Dr. Lewis, and in the end, we will request Anas to share his story and experience of studying MASTech program. So thank you, Lewis, and thank you, Anas, for taking time out and appear for this interview, as this will be extremely helpful for our potential students. I will begin with Lewis. Yes. So, Lewis, kindly tell about yourself, who you are, and what inspired you to teach at the university.
Yes, so I'm a doctor in health and welfare, and I'm working at the prosthetics and orthotics program at the School of Health and Welfare in Jönköping University. And I'm also working at the MASTech program, which is a master in product development with a specialization in assistive technology. So I am currently the program coordinator of that program and also teaching students on the different levels of that educational program. I started my journey here at the university in 2002, where I myself was a prosthetics and orthotics student. So I studied at the P&O undergrad program that we also have here. Mm-hmm. And after doing a few years of clinical work in Denmark, where I come from originally, I returned to the university and started teaching at the program. So that is the journey, if you could say so in short.
Yeah. Interesting, yes. Very interesting, actually. So could you tell a bit about School of Health and Welfare and what makes it unique, and tell us about the programs you're responsible for, all of the programs you're responsible for?
Yeah, so we have a whole part of the university which is related to health and welfare. As I said before, we have a nurses program, we have social work, we have dental hygienists, and so on. So it's quite a mix of different educational programs. At the Department of Rehabilitation, where I work and where our programs are belonging to, we also have occupational therapy as a educational program. It's both a undergrad and master level that we have, and so we're kind of in the same business on this institute, if you could say. And yes, so we are doing some kind of collaboration between these two parts of rehabilitation, but mainly I'm working with the master program in assistive technology, and as I said, we have a undergrad level prosthetics and orthotics program. Both of these programs are international programs since a few years ago. So we have a mix of Scandinavian students, but also European and outside of Europe students coming here to Jönköping and studying for 2 years on the master level and 3 years on the bachelor level.
Interesting. And so my follow-up question would be, what is assistive technology, and what is this industry like? Because maybe some of our viewers could be parents who could be listening to this, and some could be, looking for undergrad education. So maybe it might be good for us to give some inroads into what assistive technology is.
Assistive technology is quite a broad area. It's the area of products and services which are given to people with different kind of disabilities to maintain or improve function. And when giving a person some kind of assistive technology device, we have the possibility to improve or help a person's life situation and function in daily life. So that is that assistive technology can be that includes products like wheelchairs, hearing aids, different aids for low vision, so like glasses, for example. But it also includes prosthetics and orthotics, so prosthetic limbs to compensate for loss of limb on the upper extremity or lower extremity, and orthotic devices to support body structures which needs to support for any kind of reason, often disease or disability.
So this is around product development, basically.
Yeah, so on the master level, we work with product development of these different kinds of assistive technology products. On the prosthetics and orthotics bachelor program, it's more of a clinical program. It's a clinical training education combined with theory, of course. It's a bachelor education, but that is on the bachelor level. That is where we teach our students to meet patients and to do individually adjusted devices for specific patients. On our master level, we raise it a little bit and have a bigger perspective where we may be looking at products which are manufactured to a broader range of people, so not so much individually adjusted products.
And do we, I'm just thinking about, do we have any facts or figures as what kind of demand is there to finding professionals in this niche?
It is the need in general, or the need globally, if you could say. It has been identified by the World Health Organization that the global need for assistive technology devices is great, as it's very big. It's estimated that it's approximately 1 billion people who are in need of some kind of a device. And currently it's estimated that it's only 1 in 10 of people who are in need of a device who actually have access to that. It is the World Health Organization have identified several areas that needs to be prioritized to eventually meet the need of people with disabilities, and it's within products. So that is what we are trying to work on the master level. So actually designing and manufacturing products which are available, can be available globally. Or it has to do with price of products. it has to do with personnel. So we need to educate clinical personnel to meet these different types of patient groups, and provide them with assistive technology products. We need policies nationally and internationally to create possibilities for people to actually receive and get products provided to them. So that's some of the areas that really needs to be prioritized, and it is a global need, and it's a global question. So we are part of that, trying to
fill that need.
Yes.
So it also feels like, so it could be a great choice for our students to perhaps come and study this with us, maybe from the undergrad level, or if they have already done undergrad in mechanical engineering or prosthetic or orthotics, so they can always come for the MASTech program. So I'm just thinking that it could be a great choice because, as you mentioned, there is a gap in this industry, and and a lot of organizations like World Health Organization or Red Cross or different kind of industries, they might be looking to fill this gap, and they're looking for professionals coming in through these kind of skill set. So it's great that we're doing that, and I really believe that it could be a great option for these students.
And I think that what we are trying to achieve with the MASTech education is to have, once you graduate from the program, you have skills within product development, so engineering skills, I would say, but you also have skills within health and welfare, health sciences. And for this type of products, you need to have personnel who can understand both perspectives. So that is what we're trying to work on. That is why we are very interested in having both students with a prosthetist, orthotist background and students with different kind of engineering backgrounds, because even under the educational program, we encourage discussions between our students, and also with us as teachers. The students also meet teachers from the health science side and from the engineering side. It's a 50-50 mix in the courses during the educational program. So we really need to discuss these topics and integrate these two viewing points if we want to come forward and actually be able to do something about the great need which is out there.
It's super fascinating. I'm just thinking, I mean, imagine if someone comes from the healthcare background, from prosthetic and orthotics, and someone coming in from the mechanical engineering background, and they're sitting together working on a project or working on a similar course together. They could have a lot to learn from each other. It is really inspiring to see that the boundary between the engineering and health have merged together and they have come together.
Yes. And we also, as you know, Jasim, we have we are very interested in having a mixture of students from different parts of the world. Also, we are a fairly new program, but we still have been so fortunate to have students coming in from different parts of the world, and it really is very creative, and it gives the basis for very good discussions, because everyone brings their experiences to this education, and we can share and compare across different countries. It's even in Scandinavia, where countries are quite similar in many ways, culturally and economically and so on. There are differences between countries, and then we don't know so much if we don't discuss with other parts of the world. We need to discuss these things together and find solutions, and be aware that we need to incorporate different perspectives. We have different economical situations and cultural situations around the globe, and we need to be aware of that if we want to go somewhere else in the world and work and make a change.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, when we are out in different fairs promoting Jönköping University, so quite often we meet a lot of parents as well, especially for parents excited or interested to get to know information about for their kids starting up their undergrad education. So I'm just thinking that from that perspective, could you say a few words more about prosthetics and orthotics, because it's not a usual field, and what could be an inspiration behind those parents to think about that this could be a really good education, because this is not like like a conventional education. This is more of a non-conventional education. So, and sometimes it's not easy to grasp that and make that decision so easily. So
Yeah. First of all, I would say that having a prosthetist orthotist bachelor degree is a very safe choice if you want to get an employment, because the need is very great, both nationally here in Sweden and also internationally. It is an educational program where you also combine engineering science of different kind with medical sciences, because you are both taught material science, we have mechanics of different kinds, and we teach the students anatomy, physiology, pathology. We move into, we have lots of clinical courses, so the students are working through the different levels of products, or the different types of products, so both within prosthetics and orthotics. So they work with the students work with patients here at the school. So we have patients coming in, and the students do the whole clinical process with the patients that come into the school. We have a clinical workshop at the school. So the students during the education will get all of the theoretical knowledge they need for making wise decisions about provision of devices, and they will also do hands-on work with patients. So it's all the way from meeting the patient, assessing the need, deciding what product is going to be made, actually making the product themselves. They have to do that at the school. Fitting the
That's
patient.
very hands-on.
Yes, it's very hands-on also. It's both, it's very theoretical and it's hands-on. They need to they learn how to communicate with patients, people. It's a big part of the education also to be able to do that. They're fitting the product, they're adjusting the product so it's individually adjusted to that person, and they do that on all the different kinds of the big groups of prosthetic and orthotics devices that is being provided to patients. So they get a good basis in both prosthetics and orthotics here at this program.
So it feels like the balance between research and application is quite smartly done in these programs.
Yeah, I would say that the prosthetics and orthotics program underwent a great revision years ago. So now we just finished all of the courses for the first time for the whole bachelor program. So we had a new program syllabus which started in 2018. So we have a really good program at the school now, where we have thought lots about integrating theoretical subjects into the actual clinical work. So we are doing lots of shifting between doing clinical work and analyzing with theoretically using biomechanical methods, and working with the theory in combination with the clinical work is what we are striving to do. We want the students to meet patients very early on in the educational program, and work their way through the different products that we want them to be able to deliver once they're done with their program here.
Great. One of the very common questions I usually get from a lot of parents or potential students, are there any internships or real projects they will work on during their education?
Are you thinking about the bachelor level or the master level?
Especially the master level.
So for the master level, we have an industrial placement, so an internship, which is the course just before the thesis course starts. So the students will go to either some part of the assistive technology industry and a manufacturer, for example, and work there alongside them for the time of this course. It could also be a prosthetics and orthotics clinic. There's a lot of production going on in these clinics, and that could be a relevant place also to be on an internship. We hope that students will find interesting topics or real life problems during their internship that they might want to work with in their thesis work. That could be an option also, but we, at least when they are working in their internship, we want them to try to apply the skills they have from the education and help the the manufacturer, wherever they are, in actually solving a real life problem. So we try again to make it relevant for the students and make them use the knowledge they gained in their education.
Excellent. And coming back to our teaching pedagogy, how do we inspire students to achieve the best results and perhaps gain an upper hand from competition?
Yeah, what our pedagogics here at this program is very much problem-based learning. So we give students what do you call it? We teach in the different areas. We give them information. We put a lot of responsibility on the students to actually find information themselves. Often we as teachers, instructors, are available for resources like discussions with students, and they're giving tasks that they should or assignments to work with during the courses. So it's not only delivering teaching to the students, the students are also working on actual tasks during the courses, and we can have discussions around that. So we're really trying to have a focus on learning experiences during the courses. It's not the aim to learn something only because you're having an examination in the end of the course. It should be something that you actually feel that you do during the course, that you develop.
So my final question with you would be, imagine, let's say our students, for instance, if they begin to work at the industry, and if they are also set up this unit from scratch, like an assistive technology unit, will our students be able to keep, are they capable enough? Would they be capable enough at that point of time to set up the whole function in that industry?
I think that they could be a very good support to a manufacturer of any kind. I think I think it's depending on the ambition level a little bit. Of course, everyone needs some experience from working. If you need to go and be responsible of a big new project, but I think that they're absolutely capable of participating in all the different parts of the product development process and have something to bring to the table in those discussions. If you are in an established company already, or if you're working in a maybe different part of the world, a low-income country where you have identified a need that you want to solve a problem, I think absolutely our students could be very helpful and be of great value to have them there, and being the processes of manufacturing products and putting like designing the products and all of that. I think that we have a good base for that after ending this education.
Thank you, Louis, for a wonderful explanation. I almost feel like becoming a student myself into this program now.
You're so welcome.
So, but yeah, I wish I could have done this, but anyhow, I'm hoping that we could inspire the younger population, the younger generation, and also students who have already done their bachelor's to begin their master's with us. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And now I will jump over to Anas. Anas, thank you very much for joining in once again.
Yeah,
and I understand that you are one of the shining students in MASTech education, and I'm just I'm hoping to hear from you that how do you see this education. But before we do that, Tell us about yourself and maybe give some bit of your story that how did you end up in Jönköping and with us?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, as I come from Libya. Yeah, I'm Libyan Moroccan, but like lived my whole life in Libya.
Yeah.
And I've studied mechanical engineering in my bachelor degree. And then after that, I had only mechanical knowledge, but mechanical engineering knowledge. And then I discovered the field of assistive technology. And once I started reading about it, I found it very interesting and felt that that's what I want to do, because it's very rewarding. You are helping people directly, you have an impact directly. Working on another engineering aspects, maybe you have an impact on people's life, of course, but this one is directly. People have difficulties in their daily lives, and you provided a device or a tool or something that made them able to conquer this challenge, and that's really a good thing to do, I think. So yeah, after that, I started working in a company to do an assistive technology center in Libya, and then with a couple of other engineers there, we started a small startup organization or something. I don't know what to call it, but non-profit organization. That might be the description. So we created that a non-profit organization to build prosthetic limbs, bionic ones, like functioning upper limb prosthetics. And we succeeded into building one from scratch. So we had electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and also coding and AI. So that was a really nice thing to do. Yeah, but we had lack of knowledge in many areas, you can imagine. So I was responsible for the design and manufacturing, me and my brother. And I didn't know what I'm doing is right or wrong, because I studied mechanical engineering. I didn't even study product design. I watched a couple of videos on YouTube. They were helpful, actually, but you still think, am I doing the right thing or not? And also, like, is there regulations to follow or something? What if I give this product to someone and then it fails? I didn't know about risk assessment at that time and regulations about the MDR and stuff. So yeah, it was better than nothing, like to work and actually try to solve stuff. And then I was applying to study in Sweden for the SI scholarship, and I found this course, one of the courses that's supported from the SI scholarship, Swedish Institute scholarship. And when I read the name of the program, it's really, really dedicated to me. Like I was thinking of studying biomechanical, but biomechanical still, it includes other stuff. Biomedical, it also includes chemicals and other stuff that I might not be interested in, but assistive technology, that was the thing that I wanted. So I put it my number one priority, and luckily I was accepted. I think I was accepted on only that one.
So did Google let you, towards Jönköping University, or how did you find Jönköping University?
No, honestly, I was looking for scholarships, and then I found the Swedish Institute scholarship. And when you are applying, you find a list of the supported programs in all the Swedish universities. And I found this. I didn't know Jönköping or anything, but like the name is too specific. It's what I want to do. Exactly. And then after I got accepted, let's learn about Jönköping, about
Interesting.
I'm in my second year here. And in the previous year, I learned a lot. There were areas that I had gap in knowledge that I told you about, like I was confused when we were working in Libya, and that was filled with knowledge. And there were things that I didn't know that I needed. But then when I learned them, it's really useful. And it's challenging for me to come from mechanical engineering, because I'm used to numbers and equations and things that are right. Like there is only one answer for it, but now you have fuzzy things but it's really interesting to learn about them. So I learned about also healthcare systems, micro, meso levels, and this stuff. So now I'm more ready than ever before, like to establish like a center, as you said, but it's not quite there yet, not too much responsibility, but more ready than before.
Wonderful. Excellent. And So what are your future plans? I mean, where do you see yourself? Are you going back to your startup, or are you going to begin some startup here and or work for someone? I mean, have you thought about those kind of things, or still, still under planning process?
I like things that have a direct impact, and I feel like the number of people in need in the world is too much, but most of them, they need the basics. They don't have the access to the basics. So I would like to find ways to make some like easy to produce in developing countries and stuff like this. But my plan for now, I'm thinking of starting a PhD. After this one, start doing a PhD but in something that is tangible and can be applied afterwards.
Excellent. Really. A great story, Anas. And I'm sure that your story can inspire many others to follow the same path, perhaps. And you have a noble cause, and I appreciate what mindset you have. And I wish you all the best for your future.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and
thank you for having me.
Thank you once again, guys, to come for this webinar. It was a pleasure hosting you, and a pleasure listening you and getting all this valuable information. Thank you very much. I can see that we don't have any questions so far, so perhaps we can end here. And because students can always write to us at study@ju.se. So please, anytime you're listening to this webinar, the feed of this video will be put on our JU webpage and also on our YouTube channel. So you can always tune in later on to watch this, share this with your friends and family. And if you have any questions, please write to us on study@ju.se. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.